We are going to talk about what we recently did with one of our companies. We increased recurring revenue by 67%. This company was already at multiple six figures, has a team, and we increased it. We really wanted to focus on getting the recurring revenue to a certain point so that all the other additional sales kind of just added and rolled into some of the goals that we have for other companies. And so we started it as a 30-day sprint. It ended up being about 5 weeks. And now we've actually extended it because we moved the goal. But we were able to do that. We grew the recurring revenue by 67%, more than most people do in a year. So we're going to walk you through.
So yeah, I love breaking this stuff down. And so just to give context for anyone listening that doesn't know like the bigger picture story. So Danielle was my right-hand person growing the coaching company, grew that company to an 8-figure business. We split out 4 other companies. Danielle is the president of 3 of those companies, and she has her own teams within those companies. 2 of those companies run completely without me, so I'm not involved in the day-to-day. I'm not the face of the brand. I'm not the one marketing or selling in those businesses. So that context is important for the conversation so that you all can kind of put yourself in the shoes of the story and really understand how you can use what we're talking about to grow your business. And this is one of the things that I love the most about having businesses at different stages and different ages, because I think sometimes when you're running a really mature business that's been in business for a long time, you forget the basic fundamentals of what made you successful. And I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's why they then become unsuccessful, because they stop doing the things that actually made them successful in the first place. One of the things that I love about always having businesses in startup mode is that you're constantly being brought back to the core fundamentals that are actually the heartbeat of what grows a business. So this particular company, as Danielle mentioned, it's one of the businesses that she runs within our global portfolio. And it's one of the businesses that it started the year as like a low multiple 6-figure business. Our target for the year is to go into 2024 over $1 million run rate, like meaning we're doing $83,000 plus in recurring revenue going into 2024 at a 35% profit margin, because it is a business that has a full team. So this is not like a membership business or like a business that we can build without a team. It actually has like service delivery as an element in it, okay? So I wanna give all that context because what we're talking about here today, you guys can use for your companies and your businesses. And I also want you to know that this is not a company that has an advertising budget. This is not a company that has a big social media following. How many people do we have on our social media for this business, Danielle?
3,000.
About 3,000.
And whatever
Okay.
I have on, so maybe another 5.
And so this business has been built completely organically. That means not using any paid advertising. And we just took its own website and social medias live within the last, let's call it 6 to 9 months. So just to give everybody context. So what Danielle, how this came about, I'll just give like a little backstory because I think this is very relevant for everyone listening to the show today, because this is how you're going to accelerate growth in the second half of the year. How this came about is that, Danielle and I have these 3 companies that she's running, and we laid out what I feel is an exceptional plan for the year. But the way that we laid out the plan, we were like, okay, these are all the things that we need to do. And these are all the things that we need to move forward on. And we kind of laid them out like going across, right? And in the first 6 months of the year, we made progress on a lot of those areas. And we were seeing incremental growth in the businesses, but everything was just moving very slowly. And this goes back again to Pareto principle. This goes back again to, are you going wide or are you going deep? And so about a month and a half ago, Danielle and I had a conversation, and we were just brainstorming, and we do a lot of just like back and forth conversations. And we were just brainstorming, and we're like, things are moving really slow. We want to move faster. We feel like if we were to accomplish this, it would make this so much easier, So we decided to change the strategy from wide across, treating all of the growth objectives equally, to going really, really deep focusing on ranking and prioritizing the order of the approach. I want to like send off like warning bells for everyone right now, because I guarantee you're probably doing the same thing in your business right now. You have all these goals that you want to accomplish. You have all these things that are all important, right? And many times we put equal weight on multiple different things instead of taking it a step further to say, it's not that one thing is necessarily more important than the other thing, which is why we end up getting really diluted and wide. It's that we have to take it a step further to say, if all of these things are important, how can we rank and prioritize these things to look at how the accomplishment of one of these things can actually facilitate the accomplishment of the other things. So it's like you set the priorities and then you rank the priorities, and then you decide which things you're going to, really go all in, and which things you're going to pause, which things you're going to hold, which things you're going to push back. This is very difficult to do. I'll be straightforward and say, for me especially, Danielle knows this for me is like heartbreaking, because it means pausing on things that are really important to you and pausing on things that are at the top of the list in terms of what you want to accomplish in the short term, in order to set yourself up for higher success in the long term. And this is why people don't do it.